Hey there, it's Leslie at Leslie's Cookies and Treats, and bows are trending, so let's add them to our fall pumpkins. So if you like this cookie cutter, I have them all available on my website as STL files, so you'll have to print them out with a 3D printer. But if you have a 3D printer and you want to do that, you can find them at www.l-treats.com. And to make these pumpkins, I trace the image onto my cookie with a projector. If you don't have a projector, you can use the paper piecing method, and I have a video on how to do that. So I'll leave a link to that in the description. And then I just outlined 3 of the sections and flooded them in with a 15-second royal icing, and then use my scribe on each of the sections to smooth the icing out and get it out to the points. And then I'm going to let those 3 sections dry while I pipe the stem. I have a stiff white icing I'm using for that, and I'm just going to make a series of lines and crisscross them over the top of each other and just make a textured looking stem. There's no right or wrong way to make your stem, just pipe a series of lines. And I let those 3 sections that I had already piped on my pumpkin dry for probably about 10 to 15 minutes, and now I'm just going back in with my icing and I'm going to flood in the rest of the sections, once again using my scribe to smooth the icing out and get it up to the points and make sure it's touching the cookie all around so that I don't get any craters later. And I'll just flood this section in with a good amount of icing, again hoping to prevent craters, and I won't go quite all the way to the edge. I'll use my scribe to move the icing around. And I let that dry again for about 20 minutes, and now I'm coming back in with a really pale green icing, and I'm just outlining and flooding in the tails of the bow, and I will then let those dry for about 15 minutes before coming in and adding in the next part of the bow. And once again, I'll use my scribe to shape it and get the icing out to the edge and to make sure it gets up into the points. And my pumpkin has dried for about 15 minutes, and I'm just going to do these last 2 sections of the bow, and I'll let those dry before coming back in and doing the center part. And on this bow, I overfilled it a little too much, so I'm just going to scrape away the excess that's coming off the side with my scribe. And I made several pumpkins, so this one was drying while I worked on other ones, and now I can come back in and add the center of the bow. Then I'm going to set the cookie aside to dry overnight before I come back in and paint in some details using gel food color and food grade glycerin. So I took my gel food color and put a drop in my paint palette, and then I put a drop of food grade glycerin to thin it down. And I'm just going to go around the different sections of the bow and add some stripes and some outlines, and I'm doing thicker stripes up here on the bow loops, and I will do the same on the tails, and then I will go back in and add more color as needed. So I like using this with the food grade glycerin because I can erase it if I make a line in a spot I don't like, and I can blend it out so it kind of feathers it out using a dry paintbrush that doesn't have any color on it. I can just kind of blend out the color. And I can keep building up the color as needed in different areas until I get the cookie looking the way I want. And if I do mess it up, I can take a dampened paintbrush and just wipe away the color as well. I'm going to do the same thing down here at the bottom of the pumpkin and just use a thin paintbrush to add some color on all of the creases of the pumpkin and along the bottom where it would be shadowed. And then I'll take my dry paintbrush and just blend that out into all the creases so it has a nice airbrushed look, even though I'm not using an airbrush. And then we'll paint in the stem, and this cookie will be done. I think they're adorable, and I hope that you do too. Check out all the other videos for the cookies in this set. And if you like cookie decorating and you want some more in-depth instruction, I have an upcoming Halloween Gnomies cookie decorating class that's available online, so you can take it in the comfort of your own kitchen. And you'll learn to make all of these adorable Halloween Gnomie cookies that are all dressed up for Halloween. And there's no experience needed. I'll walk you through all the steps you need to know from icing consistency to finished cookie. I hope to see you there. I'll leave a link in the description. Also in the description are all of the products for the pumpkin cookies. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.